This week on Deck with Katy, we're talking more about the recruiting process and how you can get seen this summer. The first question that was sent in was from a parent in Harrisonburg, and he wanted to know, after his daughter has created her list of her top 5 schools, what is she supposed to do next? So the first thing that you need to do after you have your list is make sure you're emailing those college coaches. They need to know what your tournament schedule is going to be, what showcase tournaments are you going to be playing in. The college coaches really want to see your daughter in action against the best competition in the country. So anytime you're getting ready to play, your daughter needs to shoot an email to the college coach, give her game times, give them the location of the games, and just keep touching base with them on a weekly basis. Another great way to get seen and build a relationship with a college coach that's in your top 5 schools is to go to that school's camps throughout the year. It's a great way to interact with the coaches, with the players, and you get a chance to see how do the coaches interact with their own college players while you're at camp. And it also gives you a taste of how they teach and how they are going to run their program when you're there. Another great way to get seen is to go to a camp where 8 or 9 coaches or 15 college coaches are going to be in at one camp. So if you don't have a list of your top 5 schools currently made, go to one of these camps where you can get seen by multiple coaches at the same time. It's a great way to maximize your exposure. You'll get to learn from multiple people. You'll probably take home more from that camp than you will from learning from one person at a time. You can always take something from every college coach that you interact with, and this will help your daughter or you as a player to really narrow down your list of your top schools. You'll get to interact and know what their personality is going to fit your daughter's personality, or as a player, do you like what they're teaching and how they teach and interact. The next question is, once you get to a tournament or a camp, how do you stand out and get noticed by the college coaches? The very first thing you need to do is make sure your appearance is together. I mean, this is a job interview for you, basically. So you make sure your shirts are tucked in, carrying yourself like a champion, make sure your equipment looks good. In the dugout, everything is organized. You also need to make sure that you're staying positive when you're on the field if you're at a tournament. Coaches really do want to see what happens after you boot a ball in the infield or after you strike out. What are you going to do next? They watch you when you're in the dugout. How are you interacting with your teammates? How are you interacting with your coaches? And how are you interacting with your parents? You have to be positive while you're on the field, because you don't know when college coaches are actually watching. A lot of times they're going to watch pregame warm-ups to see, are you focused? Are you serious? Are you doing what you're supposed to be doing when the coach isn't looking? They're also going to be watching you when you're in the dugout to make sure that you are a positive influence to your team and you're being a good teammate. College coaches don't want to invest money or time into kids that are not going to benefit their college program. The last question that was sent in was, what turns a college coach off when they're recruiting? And the biggest thing is probably bad attitudes, pouting when you're on the field, not interacting with adults well or their teammates well, or not interacting with the umpires correctly. At a showcase, you really do have to carry yourself like you are on a job interview. If you're at a camp, make sure that you are outgoing to the college coaches. You need to interact and build that relationship. If you're not doing that, it's a big turnoff when a college coach comes. They've gotten a bunch of emails from you, and then when you get to camp, you don't want to talk to them at all. They want to talk to you and get to know you as well. And the more you can build that relationship with a college coach, the higher your chances are of getting recruited and getting a chance to play in college. Next week, we're going to be discussing catching. We're going to be talking about catching drills, catching workouts. I'm going to get to show you clips from our Catching Insanity class. This class is a high-intensity class that combines circuit training with fast-paced catching drills. A lot of times catchers get left out of the mix when it comes to positional breakdowns at a team practice. They just get overlooked, and it's not a position that is focused on a lot, even though it's a highly skilled position to play. So hopefully you guys will send in your questions via email, text, through our website. You can tweet me or you can send them through on Facebook. Until next week, dream big and live passionately.